Alright, here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the C Podcast. As always, for the third time, my name is Shogun Shin, and I am joined by my co-host, Hex Ginkgo.
Hello, everybody.
If you're wondering why I am the way I am right now, it's because we have tried filming this 3 times, and the first time, Hex had microphone problems. The second time, my internet gave out, and this is now the 3rd time that we have tried to record this fucking thing. And I don't even know. I'm upset. Whatever. It's fine. Anyways, this is the 2nd official episode for the C Podcast. As per usual, Hex and I, this is a podcast where Hex and I, we just talk about random stuff that's been going on and things that we're excited about. But without further ado, we're just going to get right on into it. And Hex, you and I have been friends for, 2 years? Almost 3 years, something like that? Going on 3 in October. That's exciting. So, to commemorate that, I have looked up a fun little quiz to see how well we know each other. I was going to do this with you and Emily because it made more sense, but Emily's not here right now, so I figured I'm gonna do it with you and me instead.
Yeah.
So this will be fun.
Which is gonna be more fun, I think.
Yeah,
because I'm gonna get in trouble otherwise.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get in as much trouble with you.
Yeah, it's fine. So we are going to. So what's going to happen is I'm going to ask each of us a question, and we are going to respond for each other, and we're gonna see if we are correct or not.
Okay.
All right. So I have Notepad open on my computer, and so this is we'll see, and I guess we'll just reveal them 3, 2, 1 style. I guess. Let's just do it that way. All right.
Yep.
All right. So the first question is, what is your partner's least favorite body part? I already have my answer written down from the first time we tried doing this, so...
Same.
Okay, so we'll just reveal in 3, 2, 1. I said hands.
I said feet.
Okay. No.
Yeah, mine's a no, too.
What was yours?
I don't know. Yeah, my feet, I think.
You don't like your feet?
Nah.
I got close. I do not like my hands either, actually. I actually hate my hands.
Okay.
And it's primarily because I have hyperhidrosis, which is excessive sweating of the hands and feet.
I get that on my foot, and that's why I don't like it. Yeah, because it peels.
Oh, mine doesn't do that.
Yeah, it sucks.
Oh, gross. Ew.
Yeah. It gets painful sometimes, I'm not even gonna lie.
Oh,
it's only on one. Seriously, it's only on one.
Okay. Alright.
It's frustrating. Anyway.
Alright, so that's not a point to either of us. Okay. This one I know for a fact that we've talked about this on the podcast, so both of us should get this one. When your partner was a child, what did they want to be when they grew up?
Oh, yeah, I totally know.
Shit.
I know 100%.
I know what it is, but it's between 2 things. I think it's this one. I'm gonna spell this wrong, but it's fine. Alright.
Yeah. I automatically...
Yeah, alright, ready?
I automatically get a point. Yep.
Alright, 3, 2, 1. I said paleontology. Or paleontologist.
I said judge.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're both right.
Yeah, we're both right. Alright, cool. Good.
I knew mine before I
couldn't remember if it was paleontologist or archaeologist. I was like, it's one of the two. Yeah. I just couldn't remember. Okay.
Damn, I was actually hoping you'd fuck that one up. I was like, this is the only guaranteed point I'm gonna get.
Third question. Name a country your partner would love to visit. Ooh.
I have a good idea.
Same. I have a good idea as well. Okay. I'm ready.
Okay.
Right.
3, 2, 1.
I said Japan.
Yeah.
It's like Japan's a pretty safe answer for a lot of people. Japan's pretty cool.
In all honesty, so if I genuinely had the choice between Japan and Greece, I would actually pick Greece.
Okay.
So but yes, I'll give you the point because those are like two of the 3
Yeah.
places I'd ever want to meet, ever want to visit.
Yeah, I would also say Japan. Japan's just seems like a really cool place in general. It's also surprisingly one of the very few countries that I haven't gone to. Like, I haven't gone anywhere in Asia, but like I've gone to several places in Europe before. So I'm like,
I've
and there's
never
something that's like
left
that stands out to me.
Unfortunately,
yeah.
I've been all over the States.
I've been to a few states. I haven't been anywhere in like the mountain time zone.
Midwest. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I've been to about 10 states.
Nice.
Maybe 12.
Nice. I think I've been to about that many as well, I think. All right, so question 4. Did your partner have a nickname as a child, and what was it? Bonus points if you can say if they liked the nickname and /why they had the nickname. Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
I've literally never told you this, so you're not gonna get this.
Yeah, I don't know if you're gonna get I don't know if you're gonna get mine either.
I also had 2. So
okay.
If you can guess one of them, that's fine.
Yeah, same. I definitely know I've talked about one of them on the podcast. I know for a fact I've talked about one of them.
Yeah, I don't remember it very well.
Okay.
But yeah, so I had 2, and it's not like, oh hey, one was more popular than the other. Like it was either or.
All right.
My whole life.
All right.
Okay.
Oh god. All right. 3, 2, 1. I just said Hex because on Xbox your name was Hexagonal Paper.
Well, it was as a kid, right?
I mean, yeah, but I was like, this is the only nickname I could think
Okay.
about, so I was like, I think this is one of them, maybe?
I'm just gonna say Max because you usually go by Maxwell.
That's actually wrong, because
Okay, what's yours?
it's one of the nickname that I've talked about on the podcast. One of the nicknames that I got. This wasn't technically as a child. This was actually back in high school. But technically one of my nicknames that I didn't know about until I graduated was it was DEFCON 5 Cockblocker Maxwell Shin. That was a nickname that apparently I had in high school.
Totally forgot about that. Mine was Cody and Coda.
Cody and Coda. Oh, I would not have gotten those ones at all. That makes sense
no.
though. Yeah, no. It's actually interesting because my name is Maxwell, but all throughout my childhood, up until I got into college, everyone called me Maxwell. I don't think I knew anybody that ever called me Max, and it wasn't until I got into college that people started calling me Max. Actually, it was a very weird shift.
Maxwell just seems so formal.
Yeah.
You know, and that seems like something that you would expect more from college.
Yeah.
But I guess people were just like,
just lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think another nickname that I had when I was a kid was Maxwell Shit. That was also another nickname I got. Was not a fan of that one. That one was not a fan of.
Yeah, that one doesn't sound
not
so
a great
kind.
one. Not a great one.
Yeah. My dad always called me Coda Bear. Which was
that's cute.
Interesting. And then girls started calling me that, and then one of my best friends in high school started calling me that. He and I were on the tennis team together.
Okay.
And like he and I were really close, but it was just like he was the only person who was allowed to call me that. Like anybody else tried to do it, I would punch him like straight up. It was like, no, only Vu's allowed to call me that.
Nice. Yeah, I think I also had another nickname that I got actually when I went to a tennis camp one time during the summer, and it was Haffy, because two of the friends that I made there, one of them was Chinese, the other one was Korean, and then they found out that I was half Chinese, half Korean, so they just called me Haffy.
Happy.
Because I was both of them.
I also had Encarnacion in high school.
What was it? Encarnacion?
Encarnacion. It's the name of a Hispanic baseball player.
Oh, okay.
I honestly don't know why. Like, I'm assuming that it had something to do with Encarnacion, and my last name is Spires.
Okay, interesting.
So, I somehow, because Edwin Encarnacion and I played completely different positions. I played second and pitcher. I think he was like a shortstop or an outfielder. I don't know why. I have no idea why. Anyway.
Interesting. All right.
So,
All right.
next
I'm gonna skip some of these. Next ones are kind of like they were definitely like neither of us are gonna get these, so I'm just gonna skip them.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna go to what is your partner's favorite flavor of ice cream? Oh boy.
Emily would be able to get this. We were actually just talking about it.
I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get this, so I'm gonna take a stab with the dark.
I'll give you two options because one of them is like very specific. Actually, no, you and I have talked about this, so you should know.
Fuck, we have? Oh shit.
We have.
Oh shit.
I don't remember yours, but I mention mine all the time.
Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all.
Yeah, I mention it quite often.
Oh fuck. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna... Oopsies. I don't know how to spell. Okay, I got mine. I mean,
Okay.
if you've said yours, then I probably said mine before then.
You have. I genuinely
Okay.
can't remember.
3,
All right.
2, 1. I
Cookies
said...
and cream.
Wrong. I said Moose
Okay.
Tracks or chocolate chip cookie dough.
What was the first one?
Moose Tracks.
Oh, no, I hate that shit.
Fuck!
I don't really like chocolate.
Fuck! Wow, you are one of the two people that I know that don't like chocolate. Okay, so my favorite ice cream is mint chocolate chip, actually.
Fuck! Oh my god!
Is that what you thought it was originally?
No, that's mine. And you and I talked about it.
Fuck! Damn it!
You and I talked about
That's probably why. That's
well,
probably
so
why.
the other one that I was going to say is Marionberry ice cream.
Oh, I was not gonna get
And
that.
and I know that you and I have because it's not like exclusive to the West Coast, but it's a Tillamook brand specifically. And again, Tillamook is in Oregon.
Yeah.
We get it a lot here.
Okay.
So if you ever get the chance, seriously try it. It's really good. It has like pie crust in it. And it's just vanilla ice cream with pie crust and then Marionberry ribbon. It's super good.
There's a
Fuck, I'm
very
so pissed.
That's super funny though. Actually, that's
Mint
really
chocolate
mint chocolate chip. God damn it, fuck.
Uh.
It's actually really interesting because there's an ice cream place in Columbus, Ohio called Jenny's Ice Cream, and it's pretty local. Like it's a pretty local place, but they are slowly like branching out across the nation.
Yeah.
And they have some damn good ice cream. There's actually a flavor that they have. It's seasonal. It's called Cherry Lambic. It's a sorbet.
Ooh.
And oh
sorbet.
my fucking god, it's so good. It's got like cherry liqueur. I think it's got like I don't remember. I know that's like they use like black cherry liqueur in it. That's like one of the key ingredients of it. And they only have it in the summertime, and I'm like, I want it all the time because it's so fucking delicious. And that's also probably one of my favorite flavors of ice cream, quote unquote.
We have a little ice cream shop. It's sounds a lot like yours. It's a really small chain, but it's really starting to explode. There's like 2 locations in Portland and then one like in Lake Oswego, which is like 20-30 minutes from here. And I think they're making more. I can't remember. But they're called Salt and Straw. I believe. Yeah, I think it's Salt and Straw. And they have really weird flavors. Like, oh god, I have to look this up really quick. It's weird. Salt and Straw menu. Oh wow, that sounds amazing. The Wild Forged Berry Pie, never had that one. Salted Caramel is super popular. Bone Marrow and Smoked Cherries.
Bone marrow and soaked cherries.
Yes.
Interesting.
This
sounds like one of my friends. He loves Austin, Texas. Like it's like one of his favorite places. And I guess there's an ice cream place. There's an ice cream parlor there. That if you go during the just anytime during the day, really, they'll actually like scoop up ice cream and then they'll toss it at you from across the street, and if you catch it, you get a free ice cream.
Wow.
Yeah, you have to they give you a code and you have to catch it.
Let's see.
That sounds like a flavor that this place would have.
Are you kidding? God damn it. Yep. Okay, this one is, I can't even spell it. Like, Chocolado de David's Salsa Matcha. It's got house-made smoky chili paste into chili lace ice cream, matcha oil fudge, and chocolate bark studded with roasted peanuts and sesame seeds.
Interesting.
It's just weird
It's
shit.
weird. It sounds kind of good, though.
There's definitely some stuff that I'm like, I would try.
It also sounds
but
like
the bone they've had.
like-
I know that they've had pig's blood before.
ugh.
That was a thing. The thing that I always get is double fold vanilla. It's just vanilla.
It's just vanilla.
It's just a shit ton of vanilla.
That's
It's
just all
twice
it
as
is.
much vanilla. Yep. And I'm like, that's as far as I'm going. Oh, another one that I see a lot is pear and blue cheese.
Ooh.
Blue cheese ice cream.
Ooh.
That sounds really gross to me, but I hate blue cheese.
I also don't. Yeah, I don't like blue cheese, but I like the pear.
There's also a lavender one. I can't
Ooh.
exactly remember which one. Emily
I love lavender.
would love. I used to hate lavender actually, but Emily loves it.
Dude.
And so I've actually become a lot more accustomed to it.
Dude. Okay,
Anyway.
speaking of lavender, that ties into our next question. What is your
Cool.
partner's favorite smell?
Smell. Ooh. Wow. We have never talked about
We
this.
definitely have never talked about this.
Oh.
Fuck.
I don't even know what my own favorite smell is. That's,
I know what mine is. Mine's the tie between two. I know what mine are.
yeah. I'm gonna just have to. I'm gonna have to think about my own
Fuck.
first.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. This is gonna sound really.
All right. I got two ideas for you.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1. I said clean linens or fresh grass.
Neither of those are accurate.
All right. Well. Cool.
Yours. I'm gonna go ahead and say. Oranges.
No.
Okay.
No. Close though. It is a citrus fruit. It's lemons.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah. So
I love
it's
this
close.
one.
Yeah, lemons or lavender actually. Anything lavender based is like I'm all about it.
Mine's. I think is Rain on Pavement.
I was gonna do like rain or something like that. I was thinking about that too.
Which is really funny because I hate the rain and I live in a very, very rainy city.
That is weird. That
But
is odd.
like occasionally when it's really just during the summer when it's really warm outside and then it actually like starts to rain, but it's still really like clear and it hits the pavement, it's really nice. Otherwise I don't give a shit because it's always raining. It's always hitting the
It's
pavement.
always raining. All right. Next question is what is it? I just lost it. Oh, okay. This one's worded a little. I'm going to word this one just a little differently than what it is. What does your partner typically look forward to when they have a day off is what I'm going to say.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so this is kind of hard for you, or for me, because
Right.
is a day off from you not streaming?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Well, I have an idea, I guess.
All right. I'm going to be really specific. Oh god, I have to figure out how to word this.
I got really worried that I wasn't recording. Everything is up. Everything is as it should be right
Okay.
now.
All right.
So
I'm
we're
ready.
good.
All right. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm ready. All right.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Fuck. I put my thing away. Final Fantasy 14.
Okay. All right. I would take that. I would take that. I said playing whatever they are interested at the time, since you play so many games. It's just like whatever you're like super interested in, you just want to play that.
You know, I'll give it to you because normally
I was specifically going to say playing the remake.
Case.
Yeah, I was going to say playing the remake, but I'm like, I should just go more general. But I would
right
say
now,
right
I would
now
say reading One Piece.
Okay.
But yes, that is also fair. Just because all I've been thinking, like, I don't want to be at work. I just want to be playing the remake. I want to be playing Metroid.
Yeah, exactly.
Final Fantasy. Yeah,
exactly.
So yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's close enough.
What was yours?
Yeah, I would
be yours.
I would also say playing Final Fantasy 14. That's probably the biggest one.
Because originally I was gonna say like sleeping in, but it's like that, your schedule is also really wonky.
That too. I would have also taken just sleeping in. Because that's absolutely correct. If I could choose to not do anything and just sleep all day, I absolutely would.
Okay. I actually hate. I enjoy the act of or feeling well rested, but I hate sleeping in because it's like, okay, well, there goes my day, and I have 2 of those a week.
Yeah, that's how I felt a lot when I was in school. It's been a little bit less so, but there are still times where I'm just like, no, I have to actually do stuff, or else I'm really gonna regret myself.
Yeah.
I actually really hate taking naps now. I hate taking naps.
I do too.
Because I always
for that exact same reason. It's like, oh well.
Mine is always just like I always think, man, I'm tired. I'm gonna take a nap. I'm gonna feel so much better, and then I never feel better when I wake up. I never ever feel like this was a good idea. I'm glad I did this. All right, there are 21 questions for this quiz. I'm just gonna give us one more. Just because I want to save a good chunk of these for when Emily comes onto the podcast.
Okay. Well, she's here.
All right. So, okay. This one's kind of interesting. I think this one will be really difficult for you.
Okay.
What are your partner's favorite and least favorite aspects of their work?
Okay. I think I have an idea.
So I would say your favorite is probably... This is gonna be really insulting if I'm wrong, and I'm gonna hope I'm right. I'm gonna really hope I'm right. Okay.
I honestly think that I might have this like right on the head.
Okay. All right. Ready?
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1. I said their favorite thing is the money that you make. And your least favorite is dealing with stupid people.
Yeah. I am really happy about the money that I make, but I wouldn't really consider that my favorite. Honestly, like I really like my coworkers. My coworkers are some of my best friends. Because we've actually gone through quite a lot together. Mm-hmm. We've gone through a remodel. We've like lost coworkers, and we actually all kind of had a bonding moment because one of our coworkers passed away a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean the money's nice, but my favorite part is definitely like getting to spend time with my coworkers.
Okay.
Stupid people is definitely up there. Yeah, I really hate stupid people. Dude,
I
have no idea.
I was just thinking, I was like, he works
Holy
in food,
shit.
and I'm like, it's gotta have to be something with like dealing with just stupid customers. It has to be.
So I actually wanted to talk about my work for, so this is a good segue, because there's this lady, she calls almost every Sunday. Her on caller ID, I think her name is Morna Tweed.
Morna Tweed.
She's never going to be on the internet because I'm almost positive she's senile and at least 80 years old.
Awesome.
But and she's really sweet. Like originally it was really kind of annoying because she would call us and then she would be like, how late are you open? And it's like, we're open until 11 or whatever on 10 o'clock on Sundays. But lately we've been closing at 8 anyway. Yeah. But then she's like, and what day is it? It's like it's Sunday. She's like, okay. I'll see you later. And we have never once seen her come in. We have never had an order for someone named Morna. Not once.
Oh my god.
And almost every
That's
single
awesome.
week we have her call in. And it was like, I used to not like it. It used to be really annoying, but now it's like, oh, Morna's calling.
It's like, that's so endearing. Like, that's so
Yeah.
fucking cute.
Yeah.
That's
Oh my
so
god.
amazing.
Stupid people. I had somebody ask if we had pepperoni. If we had pepperoni pizza. Or
Well,
do you
do
guys
you?
do cheese pizza?
Well,
Because
do
it's
you?
not like directly. Yes. It's because it's
These are
not
all
directly
important
on the
questions,
menu.
Hex. They
They're
need
like,
to be answered.
because we don't have pepperoni pizza listed in our
That's
like
funny.
specialty menu.
That's
It's like we
awesome.
have
That's
toppings
amazing.
and we have create your own. So it's like, hey, you want a pepperoni? You create your own pepperoni. It's not hard, but holy shit, people are stupid.
That's amazing.
Anyway, I think that your favorite part of your job is interacting with your chat.
Okay. Yeah.
And your
Alright.
least favorite would be grinding in an RPG, which I know is very specific, but you do tend to play a lot of RPGs.
Yeah.
And I know that you hate grinding.
The interacting with people, I would say, is correct. I would definitely
Okay.
that's definitely one of the things that I love about streaming. And it's also one of the reasons why I do streaming instead of just being like a Let's Play channel, is being able to just talk to people. I would
Totally.
say probably my least favorite is not the grinding, because the grinding is just mindless, whatever. Like I'll just tune, my brain turns off and I just go for it. I think my least favorite is having to edit everything. It's just editing
Oh.
stuff. That's my least
Okay.
favorite. Or my least favorite is when I have like technical problems.
Yeah.
Like when something goes wrong and I'm like trying to stream, I'm just like, fuck me, dude.
Yeah.
Because then
I
that just
get a
makes
lot
me
of those.
late, and I hate being late. Just in general, I hate being late to things.
Yeah, I always feel really bad when I like have delays or some shit, 'cause, especially when we have, Monday streams, because I know
Yeah.
that you take it seriously, like this is
Yeah.
your job. I always feel bad. It's like, shit, dude. Sucks. All right. So that was the last one?
Yeah, that was the last one that I wanted to do for
Okay.
us, at least, just because a lot of
Yeah.
these other ones, I'm just like, there's no way we're gonna get these. There's literally no way. Like that's impossible.
Okay. Well, I have a really quick one then,
Okay.
because I know that you have been reading more Spider-Man lately. So this
Yeah.
is, how well do you actually know Spider-Man? And
Oh fuck.
I'm pretty sure that I can name all of these.
Oh.
And
Okay.
I actually haven't read through it. This is like an actual quiz, but
Okay. Okay.
I think these are multiple choice, but I'm not going to give you the multiple choices.
Oh.
You're just going to have to guess.
Oh, that's gonna make these a lot harder.
It. Okay. So,
Okay.
first, what is Spider-Man's true full name?
Oh boy.
I want it first, middle, and last name.
Okay. Oh, fuck. Is it? I want to say it's Peter Benjamin Parker.
Okay, you got that one.
Yeah, because I think it was like I'm pretty sure. I thought at first I was just gonna say it's Peter Parker, but I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure his middle name is after Uncle Ben, or at least it's
yes.
Benjamin, or at least because it's Uncle Ben.
He was
and-
named after his uncle
Yeah.
Ben. What was special about the spider that bit him? This can have multiple answers because it has changed over time.
Okay.
So you can go with the most basic one. You can go with one in a more recent storyline. But there are three answers that I'm thinking of.
Okay, I would say that the special thing about the spider was that obviously it wasn't a normal spider. It was like genetically tested upon, and it escaped from Oscorp.
No.
Fuck. Was it radioactive?
It was radioactive.
Okay, that
So
was
there's
also
either
that was
it was
also my second
radioactive.
guess.
It was radioactive. It bit somebody else,
Oh.
or it had mystic powers. 'Cause
Mystic
technically
powers,
it did.
awesome.
Because the genetically engineered thing was actually from Ultimate Spider-Man. Exclusive. That's where that came from.
Damn it.
How did Peter initially use his powers as Spider-Man?
He used them to get to make extra money for his family.
Okay,
He would,
more
he
specifically,
was
what
like
did he
a
do?
nighttime part-time wrestler.
Also wrong. That was Ultimate.
Damn
Series.
it!
He was
Fuck.
a novelty TV star.
Oh, really? Fuck.
Yeah,
Oh.
the original
I'm like
comics.
part of these origin story knowledge. I'm just like I'm going off of the movies too, and I'm
Yeah.
just like I can't quite remember.
Okay, I'm not gonna say the Uncle Ben one. That one's really dumb.
Uncle Ben, he died. He's dead. Did I win?
Some of these are too easy. Oh, this one. What are his parents' names?
Oh God.
Where are you going?
Oh fuck if I know.
Huh?
Mabel and Charles Parker?
They are Richard and Mary.
Ah, fuck. Really?
Yes.
Fuck. not gonna get
Can
that
you
one.
tell me what their jobs were?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Which I know, like, is even more specific, but like they're kind of famous.
I'm going to say that the dad, at the bare minimum, worked for Oscorp.
That's also a Ultimate series.
God damn it!
They were shield agents.
Oh, I knew that actually. I did know that because his sister's a shield agent. Fuck.
Yep.
I did know that.
What year did Spider-Man first appear?
Oh boy. Okay. Like, are we talking about like
his first appearance in a comic? What year was it? What year did it come out?
1940s?
So far, it's correct. 1962.
20 years off. I was even thinking
Yeah.
1940s or 50s.
He's not that old. Superman just turned 82 yesterday.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Or either yesterday or the April 18th, 2 days ago. Superman came out in 1938. Spider-Man didn't come out for almost 30 years later.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Man, I thought Superman was actually bordering on 100, actually.
I mean, he's getting there.
Yeah, he's getting there, but I thought it was going to be like early to mid 90s.
I'm gonna try and come up with some of these on my own because some of these are like oddly specific, and then some of them are very easy. Who is Spider-Man's best friend? That's a superhero.
Okay. I'm going to give two answers.
Okay.
The first one is Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch.
Uh-huh.
And the second one I'm going to say is Flash Gordon, aka Anti-Venom.
Okay. The one that I was thinking of is yes. Johnny.
Yeah.
It's Flash Thompson.
Oh,
It's not Flash Gordon.
Fuck. God, that's what I meant, Flash Thompson.
Yeah.
I always get it mixed up. But yeah, because it's like I usually, because I'm like, Johnny Storm makes sense, obviously, and then I'm like, well, he also has his other best friend, which is Flash, and I'm like,
He actually hated him as
Right.
Anti-Venom, though. And Agent Venom.
yeah,
Because he didn't know who Agent Venom was.
yeah, but I was like, he's also he technically is a superhero though, and I'm like, all right.
That one's super
I guess I could
easy.
also, as a third, I mean, yeah, no, never mind. I was gonna say, Harry, but Harry's not a superhero.
Yeah, that was one of
I'm
the
like,
ones
that's
who was
not
like, who is, what is the name of his best friend Harry's dad, or whatever. It's like, are you serious?
Really? That's a
Like,
okay.
this is dumb.
That's a softball right there.
Let's see. All of these are really stupid. Oh wow, I fucked that one up. I'm trying to get to better questions here. I thought it was good. Now it's actually getting into films, and I don't want to talk about the films. I want to talk about his character. 3, 4. Oh shit. I feel really dumb now.
Why?
Because it's asking me stuff about how many. Okay, here. What high school did he go to?
Oh shit.
/ teach at.
Fuck. I feel like I know it, but I can't. Like, I can't give a name. Shit. I don't know.
Midtown High.
Midtown High. I wanted to say it was like something New York related.
Yeah. So he went to the fictional Midtown High for high school, and then he went to the fictional Empire State.
That's what
University.
I was thinking. Empire State. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'll do one more.
Okay. Well, how many are left?
Well, I breezed through some of. I'm trying to make some of these up because a lot of them were like, how many movies was Tom Holland in, and how many was Andrew Garfield in? And it's like, no, I don't want to do movies. So I want to do like specifically comic book related stuff.
Okay.
Let's see. How many spider armors have there been?
Spider armors or like suits?
Spider armors. Because so you do know what the spider armor is, right?
I think so. It's the Iron Spider, right?
No.
Oh shit.
That is technically different.
Okay, shit. Then no. Then
Okay.
I'm probably not gonna get this question right.
Okay. Well, then just throw it out there.
Spider armor. 5.
No. There have been 4.
Ah, that's close. I'll take that though. I was close for a guess.
So, because you read Amazing Spider-Man All New, All Different, right? The one that precedes the one that's currently out, where he had the glowy spider.
No, actually,
you didn't. Oh, it's actually really good. You should check it out because that's what. Well, that's what the series that led into Flash dying.
That's the one where he's the CEO of Parker Industries, right? I did read that then, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was actually armor. That wasn't like a fabric suit.
Oh.
So that's
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was I believe it was nanotech.
Oh.
Like Iron Man's.
Oh, that's
just to a less solid degree.
That's stupid.
I love it. I mean,
no.
Awesome.
Like, it's cool. I just hate that that's the like it's the differential is there. Like, that's what the differential is.
Yeah.
Like that's stupid. that upsets me.
He has so I believe he has made all of them himself. His original one was this like black and silver one, and it looked really bad. The second one he made to go against a serial killer who just used guns a lot, and it was called the Bulletproof Suit. And then one of the other ones is called, they generally called it the Ends of the Earth Suit, and that's Mark III, when Dr. Octopus was trying to blow up the world.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's talk about Final Fantasy.
All right. Let's talk about Final Fantasy. Specifically, the Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yes.
I've played it. Or I'm playing it, I should say. It's very good. It's real pretty. Jessie is best girl. And I will take that knowledge to my fucking grave.
I'm more partial to Chatifa. But that's fair. Just because
that's fine.
You're kind of supposed to, because
yeah, makes sense.
Because being attached to Aerith is still...
It's you're just setting yourself up for heartbreak.
Exactly.
It's like you know what's gonna happen, and it's like, well, okay.
Do you really want to go through that?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, it's fine. Also, I actually, honestly, like, I can't even be like, yes, Aerith is best girl because of, and I think it's because of the fact that I played Crisis Core. I'm just like, Zack and Aerith together. That is the ship that I will never let go of, and I'm like, I can't touch that. That's I'm not allowed to. But yeah, playing the remake, I hate the fact that Biggs and Wedge and Jesse, I hate that they're real characters now. Like, they're real people.
Yeah,
and they have personalities and they have depth to them, and I'm like, fuck, they're gonna die, and I'm upset by it. Like, but at the same time, I hope they don't, because like playing the remake, it's like it's so difficult to try and be like, oh, I played the original, I know what's going to happen, because we've already taken so many left turns that I'm like, I don't know where we are now.
It's pretty crazy.
Like, I'm lost. Like, I'm a little farther ahead. I'm a little farther ahead than you are.
Just a little.
Just a tad bit. But you have not met Roche yet, correct?
I did the bike fight with him.
Okay.
But I haven't done more than that.
But you have met him though, at the very least.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yeah, I don't like him.
So yeah, you meet Roche, and I'm just like, who the fuck's this dude? Like I'm like
oh.
In my head, I'm just like, I'm racking my brain. I'm like, did I meet him in all the other Final Fantasies? I don't think so. Like, I definitely don't remember him. Like, I definitely think I would have remembered him in Crisis Core, and I'm definitely sure he wasn't there. And I'm like, I have no idea who this person is now. And I'm like, he's okay, he's cool, but I'm like, do I need to care about this character? I don't know yet. I would assume I do, but I'm like, there are so many things that my original hope for the remake was that I would be able to easily compare and contrast what was the same and what was different. And there are too many contrasting points that I'm like, I don't know what I can compare anything with. Cloud's in the game. Tifa's in the game. Like,
he's there.
Those are the comparisons that I can make, because I can't make any more. And I'm just like, holy shit. But as far as going on to a more going into more technical aspects of the game, the mechanics are fun. Like, the hack and slash is still pretty. It's okay. It's not my favorite thing, because I'm actually more partial to turn-based.
Yeah.
Because I for me, I think my favorite combat system for Final Fantasy is probably Final Fantasy X turn-based. Because I think with 10, I liked the fact that there was a lot of strategy to it, because you had to actually think it, like, because it showed you the turn order, and you had to really think of, like, okay, if I do this move, that's going to put, this character here, and the boss is going to get 2 turns instead of 1 turn, but if I do this, then I get to go in between those turns, and I can do something there. Like, I love that with Final Fantasy X, that combat style made you think a lot about what you had to do and what you needed to do in order to win a fight.
For sure.
And that, so I mean, like, 15, or not 15, the remake mechanics, the hack and slash aspect is nice. Like, I definitely like it. Like, I didn't hate it in 15. Like, it was okay. I will admit, though, that playing the remake I definitely realized how much I relied on Warp Strike in 15, though. Because, like, man, when you're in combat in the remake and you kill all the enemies and then you, like, look behind you and they're all the way on the other side of the arena, I'm like, well, I guess I'll just start walking. Like, oof. Like, oh, it's so brutal in that regard. I'm also not a huge fan of the ATB. The ATB kind of bothers me in the fact that being able to do anything requires ATB is just like, oh, fuck. Like, especially using items. That's the biggest thing for me. It's like, I just hate that in order to use items, I have to have ATB. Because I'm like, I feel like that's just because I'm underleveled, but like, man, I feel so powerless when I'm like getting my teeth kicked in. I'm like, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
I had to just guerrilla warfare it.
I wish that you got more as you leveled. And you weren't limited to 2. Because it's like they fill up fast enough, but it like this game is obviously built on 13 and 15's combat. It's really obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And 13, I remember, I could be wrong, but I do remember that they had more gauges than this.
Yeah.
And it allowed you to do certain things, and you could you could connect one after another. And it was really nice. So you could do cure and fire, and then do a attack command. And granted, the basic attack was a function. So, but obviously you don't need that in this. So you could interweaving stuff would just be nicer. Like if you didn't have to go into it and then slow time.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
I wish you could just stack things. Is if you have 2, then you could just go boom boom. But it makes you back out of the menu, and then you have to go through it all again.
Yeah.
It just kind of slows things down.
Yeah, and especially
I think it's really fluid, except for that one part.
Yeah, and then like that, I think that that's emphasized even more when like you're controlling other party members too.
Yeah.
Like it is really frustrating to just being like that. I'm constantly having to worry about like, okay, my ATB's like, I'm playing as Cloud, my ATB's up. When does Tifa get her ATB? Because I'm like, I have to make sure that, you know, she's not just sitting on it. She's not going to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I like the different like abilities that characters have. I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah,
but
it's a lot more expansive than it ever was.
Yeah,
because essentially
I feel like it's
the limit
weird
breaks.
though, because of like, I don't know, like I can't trust the AI is the thing. Like I feel like I can't trust the AI to do stuff. Cause
Tifa just got herself killed against that one the rabid
dog,
Shimmer dog.
Yeah.
Oh my god, she just ran at him and then punched him in the face because I granted it might have been my own fault because I really wasn't utilizing the ATB for her. I was really just trying to be like, hey, I need to learn how to use Cloud.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, the AI should be smart enough. And it was definitely not smart enough.
And I mean, like, I think maybe it's just it's a fault on both of our parts, because I think in the game it does say that you can give them like certain commands.
Yeah, so when you go in the menu for
like,
you can have them. You don't have to switch to them to use their ATB.
Yeah.
But you can't really direct them to be. I don't think that you can direct them to be more defensive, offensive, or supportive.
Okay.
I don't think that's a thing.
Okay.
At least I haven't noticed it.
Yeah,
I haven't seen anybody do it.
Yeah, if they had
which
like,
would be nice.
Tactics, that would be nice.
Yeah, kind of how they had Donald and Goofy.
Yeah.
There was active. Yeah. There was
like active, like
healing or something.
Or like only when you have to.
Yeah. Or only attack the target that I'm attacking, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Would be I haven't really gone through a lot of the I have gone through a significant portion of the menus, but I haven't really noticed that. And again, like I have watched streams, and while I really go and watch how people play, not exactly the sections that they are playing, because I really am trying to avoid knowing too much.
Right.
Like, granted, I did see the last couple of fights, but fights aren't story.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
Right.
Like, I know of a fight that I didn't know about. Well, I mean, that didn't exist in the original. I'm not going to say anything, and it's really cool, and it's really different than anything that we've seen in Final Fantasy VII. And I'm a huge fan of their decision to. Like, honestly, kind of completely abandon everything. Like, it's basically, we have the Final Fantasy VII framework. We have all the characters. We have all the stuff. Let's mess with it.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can do.
Yeah,
and I think, people are so against that. It's like, why would you want them to remake exactly the same game? Because that, sure.
I think it's because they just want to relive the heartbreak just in higher definition. You just want it to look prettier for the nostalgia.
There's mods. Like, I know that, that's a whole other thing that you have to get into, is just like, if you want to actually mod Final Fantasy VII, you have to buy the Steam version or a PC version and then mod it. And that's totally an option. But it's like, asking for the exact same thing that you already have is just like a wasted wish.
Yeah.
You know?
I think, to play like devil's advocate just a little bit, I think if I was, like, I like the remake. I definitely like it. I think the new story is really, really cool. It kind of hurts my brain because I have to mentally, I have to
think a lot.
I have to mentally think, like, this is not the same game. This is not Final Fantasy VII. This is a different game. It's not the same. Like, I have to, like, constantly remind myself that. But I think if Square was going to actually make, like, the exact same game, I think it would have been nicer if they had, like, they do that, yeah, but I think what they could have done instead was just add more details into the original game. And what I mean by that is, like, you have, like, playing the remake now, you have there's so much setup going through, like, the first 2-3 chapters. There's so much setup there, and there's so much exposition that I absolutely love. And if they had that in the original game, I think fans would probably be super on board with that. I think it actually probably would have been even better than what the remake is now, honestly.
Just adding more information to all the stuff that we already
just
have.
Adding in
instead
more
of changing the story while adding stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think if they had just added more information, I think that would have been better.
I think that's kind of a double-edged sword, personally, because it's like, people obviously, they love Final Fantasy VII. Across the board, fans of Final Fantasy VII generally love the story. I mean, you kind of have to if you're going to be a Final Fantasy VII fan, at least of the original. You don't have to love all of the extended stuff. And that's kind of the thing, is like, people are such diehards about how the original story was told, and then anytime any additional information was added, people are like,
Yeah. Well, so here's the thing that I would agree that it's a double-edged sword, because this is something that I've noticed from playing so many Final Fantasies now, is that Final Fantasy really loves keeping you in the dark. Like, they absolutely love keeping you, like, withholding as much information as possible, and then just dunking all of the information at the very end of the game.
Which this is definitely setting up to do.
But at the same time, like, I think the thing that the remake does so well is that it at least gives you enough information to at least start asking questions, or at least start connecting dots. Because, like, I remember playing the original Final Fantasy VII, and, like, it was good, but there were so many times where I'm just kind of like, why are we doing this? Or, like, what's the point?
It definitely
here?
had pacing issues, for sure.
Like, yeah, it's like the pacing always just felt really off, because I was just like, okay, I have to go here, or I have to do this, or I just straight up don't remember what I'm doing for any reason. Yeah. And I think with the remake, it definitely, like, a lot of the times it's like,
they give you reasons to be where you are.
They give me reasons of, like, oh, I have to go do this because of this, or, like, this thing's happening to me, and, like, I should go do this, or, like, I think the best course, and, like, I think giving that extra information also helps develop the characters a lot too. Like,
oh yeah, I mean, like, they made Jesse a character.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's like, like, Jesse's a character now. Biggs and Wedge are characters now. Like, that's awesome.
I love Biggs. Like, I think he's my favorite expanded character. Like, Jesse's great. She's really cool, but I love Biggs.
Biggs is actually really cool. Like every time, like, when you haven't gotten here, but when you do Jesse's mission, there are, like, several moments where, like, Biggs is, like, the bro, essentially.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, Biggs, you sexy motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn it. Like,
so
goddamn you, Biggs.
He's so attractive.
Damn you, Biggs. Like, fuck.
Very pretty man.
I will say Wedge has always been, like, a huge favorite of mine as well, because Wedge is just such a dork. And, like, they really emphasize it in in the remake a lot more, which at first I was like, when you go through Jesse's mission, like they kind of like they definitely flesh out Biggs, Jesse, and Wedge a lot, like for development purposes and stuff like that, and like you can see that they are real characters. There is a moment with Wedge that I'm just kind of like, well, it was just really cheesy, or like just really like of like, all right, well that's like the gag is there just to be a gag, and I'm like, all right, whatever. But it's afterwards that I'm just like, oh, like, because he keeps, like, after the mission, he keeps calling you bro. And I'm just like, oh my god, fuck. Wedge, you really are a bro. Like, he really is the bro. And I'm like, I fucking love it. I love it so much.
I think that's just, like, I don't know if it's necessarily a Final Fantasy trope, but it's definitely a Nomura thing.
Yeah.
Of, hey, I made a joke. Notice it.
Yeah, and I think that's something I've always kind of hated just in general, because there are a lot of Marvel movies that are not a lot, but there are some Marvel movies that do that from that really that I'm bad. Just like, they just put gags and it's like, look, we're Marvel, comic books, and I'm like,
the Endgame and Infinity War did that selectively.
Yeah,
which some of them landed really well.
I actually, a lot of my friends really love Thor Ragnarok. I actually don't like Thor Ragnarok because of a lot of the times when the gags happened, I either just predicted them or they just weren't funny.
I thought most of them landed really well because it was like, it wasn't the gimme, like expecting you to be like, haha, where like, a lot of Iron Man movies actually kind of suffer from that. Well, I think that the Iron Man, at least Iron Man 1 and 3 are really solid.
Yeah.
They definitely are like, we made a joke.
2 is definitely not great, I would say. Like, 2 is definitely just like, okay, oof.
I'm going to get lambasted by freaking Marvel Cinematic Universe junkies. Avengers was full of that.
Yeah.
Avengers and Avengers 2. I thought the ones in Avengers 2 were a lot better with what's his name? Hawkeye and Quicksilver.
Yeah.
I thought that their dynamic it was definitely like the gimme jokes, but they were actually good.
They were like really, really good, because I guess like the jokes I think lended themselves to developing the characters more and their personalities. Like, I think one of my favorite moments, I don't think it was Quicksilver, I think he's talking to Scarlet Witch, I think, and it's like, listen, we are going up against he goes
an
on this,
army of
robots, and all I have is a bow and arrow. And I'm like, it's like, it's such a good gag. I'm like, and it's exactly who Hawkeye is.
Let's see, I have to find this.
But like, it's like, like those kind of gags that I'm like, I really like. And like with the remake, like, it was just that one moment that really stood out for me. But a lot of the moments and gags and like exposition that the remake has is really, really good to develop the characters. Like, I remember in the original, meeting Aerith, I was just kind of like, okay, I know Aerith because of, supplementary things, but if I was just playing this blind, like completely, utterly blind, and meeting Aerith, I would not care at all. Like, I mean, I'd care a little bit because she's a waifu, but then I'm like, but there's nothing else there. Like, there's really no other information that I'm going off of because of so much of it is being withheld. Meeting Aerith in the remake, I thought was so well done because of, it's like, she's, this innocent looking flower girl, but hey, look, spooky ghosts, and I'm like, oh shit, Aerith sees shit, and I'm like, that's cool, there's a mystery there that I want to know more about.
And like, something like we get more of, because there's this whole thing of Shinra is trying to find her, or specifically Sung, and it's like, why? And you find out why fairly early, but like the ghost is like, oh, there's something going on.
Yeah.
And with us, since we already know about Aerith being Cetra or an ancient or whatever, this, we don't know if this is something related to that or if this is something new.
Right.
So it gives us something else.
Yeah.
But before it was just like, who's this random girl? And now it's like, who's this random girl who is being possessed or
like
whatever.
Ghosts. Like,
or
oh,
terrorized.
God. Yeah.
And that whole thing of like, Cloud couldn't see him until she touched him.
Yeah.
Which is a whole, like, I want to know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they explain that in this one, or how they will, or what.
I mean, if they don't explain it here, I mean, at least I would hope they would foreshadow it at the very least.
Yeah.
Like, they definitely did a good job in, like, when they attack the town and stuff like that, when you're fighting all of them. It's like, I don't know. Like, I think they do a really good, the remake does a really good job at foreshadowing things. And
I'm loving
setting the narrative up enough to keep you interested and at least make you ask questions.
I watched this retrospective on Final Fantasy VII. I watched a bunch of them leading up to the remake, because I was trying to. Again, I've never beaten it. I've gotten a really decent way into it. I definitely have gotten to like midway through the second disc. But I've played a lot of the supplementary games. I've seen the movie, and I love it. It's one of my favorite Final Fantasy universes. But I wanted to see if there was stuff that I didn't know. And one of the retrospectives was talking about how the game makes you like feel about Sephiroth, because you don't see him for like the first 12 hours of the game.
Yeah.
And you don't really know anything about him. You know that he was a soldier, and you know that he was super powerful. And it isn't until you go into Cloud's flashback sequence when you're in Calm, where you're like, this is how strong he is, compared to Cloud, who was in Soldier. Or, in his mind, he was in Soldier.
Right, yeah.
He's like... and it was the way that the game presented that to you. So you are in the perspective of Cloud, and Sephiroth is your party member, and you go up against a big dragon. You do 14 damage to it, and he immediately annihilates it. And that is like this disparity that you have. And it was like they referenced him a lot before that, so you know that he is either going to be the antagonist, or he's at least a very important character. But I love the way that this one is kind of changing that, and he's having these hallucinations, and like these delusions, and he's not really talking about Sephiroth in a aspiring way like he did before.
Like you know that he's definitely the bad guy.
and he's terrifying.
Yeah, I do like
he's
that.
Actually terrifying.
I will say that I said this when I was streaming it too, was that I really love how they did Sephiroth in the remake, because again, like I would agree that he has this menacing aura to him of like he is the bad guy, he is evil, and I'm like, and he knows that he's evil, and I'm like, that's awesome. I think the one thing that I don't like, and it's a real nitpicky thing, is that I don't like the voice actor for it. I think the voice acting for...
He does a good job.
He does a good job.
Just
he
not...
does a good job, but it doesn't fit the theme
scary.
Quite. Yeah, it's not scary. Like, I want I want to be scared. I want to have fear when I like, going through this. And then, like, Sephiroth talks, and I'm like, I'm not as scared anymore. And I'm like, damn it.
I talked to my coworker about it, because I was talking to him about I looked up a lot of the voice actors, and I was like, it was just kind of funny, because apparently a bunch of the voice actors had all played in Teen Wolf, and most of these people aren't originally voice actors. The guy who plays Cloud has never voice acted for anything before. And I think he does a fantastic job.
He does a fantastic job.
He is honestly probably, other than Biggs, I think my favorite voice actor.
That's honestly actually really, it's really funny, because with Cloud in the original, so Cloud obviously, like, Cloud definitely had a personality in the original, which is something I really love about the original, is that, like, oh, Cloud's actually a person and, like, has a personality, which I hate at the fact that all other, like, iterations and, like, spin-offs, is like, Cloud's just this, like, quiet,
dilly-dally,
really brooding swordsman. I'm like,
Advent Children doesn't hold up very well over time, because he's just like, I'm just dead
He's
inside.
Cloud.
I'm angsty and edgy. It's
Yeah.
like, no, by the end
Like,
of
no.
7, he was a happy dude.
Yeah,
he
he
got
was
his
actually-
memory back.
Yeah, and like he was like
He
a
was
good, he
nice
was like a
and he
leader,
made
and like
jokes.
actually like he made jokes,
He
and
was
like
friends
I
with
love
everybody.
and like so like when I playing the remake, I was really afraid that they were going to go into that, they were going to do that characterization for Cloud, that he was angsty and didn't talk. But then like hearing the dialogue between him and Barrett of like when they're going to the
so
first mission
good.
was so
You should
funny.
be worried about me.
Like,
You should be worried about the next 5
he
seconds.
makes,
And
like,
it was like,
these-
it wasn't a joke.
Yeah.
It was just like he was being serious. It's like, seriously, stop worrying about this.
Yeah.
You need to be worrying about not fucking dying.
Yeah, and I love like I love the
Get help.
I love the dry humor that Cloud has. Like it's so
Yeah.
dry, and I'm like it's perfect. It's so perfect. And like when he's when he's talking to Jesse, there's like when Jesse, or not Jesse, when he's talking to Wedge later on. He like Wedge starts calling him bro, and Cloud just goes, "Stop calling me that. I'm not your bro." And I'm like, good. That is exactly the personality that I want Cloud to have. Is that he is. Yes, he's like this really like kind of cold dude, but like he does actually have like he does make jokes like like those small subtle little things of stop worrying about me, or like I don't know, like just like those small little one-off comments that he makes. I'm like, yeah, that's perfect, and I'm really glad that they did that for the remake. They gave him, albeit not like a super crazy personality, but I do like the introverted personality that they gave him of like, and showing that like, and I really hope that they expand upon that eventually, like when we go through the entire game in its entirety, that like he does hopefully get that more extroverted personality from the original. I really hope so.
I'm really looking
something
forward
more
to
like
seeing
that.
how they deal with his personality once we are enlightened to him.
Mm-hmm.
Or not.
Or not,
you know.
Yeah, because I mean it's an entirely different game, and I'm like, as much like
especially the end that I know about, which I'm very excited
so
for.
here's something that I'm actually really interested in. So you were saying that obviously Red 13's in the game, and you cannot play as him.
No.
Something that I'm really interested in from when you said that was, one, I'm interested in if you can play as Kate Sith, because I'll be really fucking pissed if you can't, because that sounds so much fun. Two, I'm really interested in how you get the optional characters. So like getting Yuffie,
Vincent,
getting Vincent. Like
there's only 2.
There's only 2. Yeah, I said that. I was like, there's only 2 of them. Never mind. But like,
I think
I'm really
that
interested in how
Yuffie is
you're gonna
going
get
to be
those.
mandatory.
I think Yuffie is also going to be mandatory, because I know that they mentioned.
And I think you're just gonna get
the remake, and I'm like,
I think it's gonna be a much bigger thing than it was.
Yeah.
I think once you get back to the Shinra Mansion, Vincent's just gonna be there.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna go down, and then he might be like a boss or something.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I could see that happening.
I think it'd be interesting if you just, I don't know, like I think it'd be interesting if you just like.
I mean, you did fight Yuffie too. Originally.
You do.
Well,
fight Yuffie.
also we don't know.
Like, did you fight Yuffie? You do.
So
fight Yuffie.
we don't know what the open world is going to be like, if there is going to be an open world. So maybe it's going to be the same, and then all of a sudden you just stumble upon Yuffie because, or like she's specifically in those woods, because once you get out and you're in that area, you have a higher % chance of running into Yuffie in a specific patch of woods, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So maybe she's just in there.
Yeah, you do.
You know.
Yeah, I would.
So
honestly,
it might be mandatory, or it might be like, hey, if you want to go get her, she's right there.
Yeah, this is something that like I was thinking about when I was playing. Is I honestly don't know if I would like or dislike if it was just a linear experience, to be completely honest.
Well, like, I mean, when it really comes down to it, all Final Fantasy games are very linear.
Yeah, but if the remake decided to just do it via chapter base, and like you never had an open map at all, and it's just like linear, I think I'd actually be okay with it.
Well, that's like Final Fantasy X.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but no, but with 10, at least with 10, you eventually were able to go back to certain locations. So I guess, okay, yeah, you're right.
Well, they do have a chapter select. for this, at least.
Yeah, so I think maybe like at the end game, if you could, I think if they do 10 style where it's like end game, you can go back and do like side quests and all that good stuff. Like you can pick locations to go to. I think I would honestly be okay with that. Like I wouldn't be terrible. Like you get the you get to the end game, you get the airship, and then it's like, all right, you can just go wherever you want to go, do complete side quests, do whatever you want, like, and then you can go fight the boss whenever. Like I would be okay with that, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be mad about that. To be completely fair, and I also think that my own theory for introducing Yuffie would probably be you end up going to Wu Tai at some point, and she's there. They tie her in because of reasons, like she's just there because she lives there, or because of like she's it's revealed that like they're promised like materia from one of the Avalanche branches, so like maybe she's like working for Avalanche or a different branch to get the materia and stuff like that. That's my theory, at least. But yeah, I don't know if I would actually want like a very open map exploration type style for this game, because I think
the more that I think about it, the less I think that it's going to happen, because
hello?
Sorry, there's something. I think Emily helped me with something. Okay. Anyway,
you scared me. You started till you stopped talking. I was like, "Fuck! Did something break again?"
So because this isn't all one game, I don't see it happening. That we get a solely open world disc like the original did, because that's pretty much what disc 2 was.
Yeah.
And with the amount of structure that they are giving us just for part 1, considering it's about 15% of the original game, and most of the story really is crammed into discs 1 and 2, you can cut out a lot of the unnecessary exploration. It's not that it was bad. It was just... It was mostly to pad out the game length and to like incentivize you to do to grind, really. Because if you just did all the story stuff, it would be a really quick game. But you have to be at a certain point to do certain things. And I think the game already does a pretty good job of leveling you accordingly to what you need to be by the end of the game. Because the level cap for this... I don't know if you've looked at the trophies, but it's literally in the trophy list, is only 50.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. So I hope that isn't really a spoiler necessarily.
Yeah.
But that's as high as we're allowed to go. So, and I think that we're going to have at least 2 more parts. And that it's going to expand upon the story. I think part 2 is going to be a lot bigger. And I also think part 3 is going to be a lot bigger than the original 3rd disc was.
Yeah, something that I really want to know is, and I think this is just, I'll hopefully figure this out as I play more. I'm really hoping that, as far as like with all the customization that you can do with weapons, I actually kind of hope, I think it's cool, I think it's awesome, but it also kind of breaks my brain a little bit, because I'm like, can I keep using the Buster Sword? Because I want to use it.
Absolutely.
Like I want to use it because it's classic. It's nostalgia. It's the Buster Sword. But I'm like,
I see a lot of people using it.
Do I need to worry about?
It's not like the Kingdom Key.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, from everything that I've seen, like the only seeming downside that I have noticed is that you only get 2 materia slots.
Okay.
Which you and I had talked about before. I wish that you could expand the amount of materia slots, because that would incentivize the longevity of using a single one, like a single sword that you really like.
Yeah.
But I get aesthetically, it's like the Buster Sword has those 2. And adding any more would change what the Buster Sword looks like.
Yeah.
It's like, you could even use that as a challenge.
Yeah, but see, that's another thing, is that I like the fact that it keeps it that way too, because of it does add an extra layer of like, well, okay, I only have these 2 slots. I can put 2 slots here, and then it's like, well, makes my armor what do I put in here? So I actually do like the fact that you cannot upgrade the materia slots because of it's like you have to make sure that you plan out what gear you put on what. So I actually like that that you can't do that.
I'm a little I'm thinking about it now because there are some endgame weapons that have a buttload of materia slots. And the materia on the weapons that we use is actually fairly large. So like they're very prominent and noticeable.
Yeah.
And if you're using a weapon that has like 8 materia slots,
I am really curious.
It's gonna look
like
so dumb.
I would admit, I do want to get like everybody's like legendary weapons because I know those have like 8 slots in them, and I'm like, I want to see this so bad.
It's gonna look so dumb.
It's just like a kaleidoscope of materia.
Everybody's just got rainbow patterns on their shit. It's gonna look great.
They have RGB.
Yeah, oh my god, imagine Kate's microphone and it just like blasts out RGB lights.
Oh, it's
like,
so good.
Lucio or some shit.
So
actually, honestly, great. I could see that. I could see his microphone or megaphone or whatever acting essentially the same way that Lucio's sound gun does.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's how they're gonna do it.
Pretty certain. But, what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought.
While you think about it,
I like the fact that I also do really like the fact that, as far as like upgrading weapons goes and SP goes, I do enjoy the fact that it's all separate, and that you don't need to you don't need to like prioritize like upgrading weapons, like which one you want to upgrade. You can just upgrade them all at the same time, and it's like, all right, use whatever weapon you want. I'm like, oh, cool, dope. Like, obviously there are some little stat differences, but I'm like, I'm really hoping that that's negligible to a certain point.
I think the biggest disparity is going to be between the maxing something out, because so with the 2 that I have right now, which is the Iron Sword
and the
Buster Sword.
Yeah.
The Buster Sword has a higher attack, and the Iron Sword, I believe, has a higher defense.
Yeah, I think so.
And they are negligible now, but I imagine at the end, when they're maxed out at, I believe it's level either 5 or 6. I can't remember how many slots were actually on the thing. That the disparity is probably going to be fairly larger. But I doubt it's going to be like 200 more points of damage.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping that it's really just like it really just comes down to what your play style is. Like, do you want more? Do you prioritize more defense, or do you prioritize more attack? Because I know for a fact that I definitely prioritize more defense.
I definitely prioritize more attack.
Yeah, well, I'm like
I don't guard nearly enough.
I usually do. I see that I'm also the same. Like I usually do attack, but playing the remake though, I'm like, fuck, I actually need to guard more.
Oh yeah,
and I'm like,
it's necessary.
Oh fuck, it's like it's actually necessary. I'm like, okay, well, I need to be more. I need to be smarter about how I do this and how I play this game. And it's like I mentioned this on stream too. It's like, when I was streaming, I was like, I'm sorry, I can't talk because I have to actually concentrate on what I'm doing because I can't focus on anything else. I actually have to like think about what I'm doing right now.
I was watching the Maximilian dude that I was telling you about. I was watching him stream, and they were having a conversation in his chat about how it was a Kingdom Hearts speedrunner that I used to watch all the time. He's really good. And he was playing it, and the game isn't set out into avoiding damage. It's about mitigating damage as much as possible, because dodging isn't like Dark Souls. It's not like where you dodge, you're either immune. Get hit or you're not going to get hit. Yeah. You're still going to get hit pretty much no matter what. You're going to take damage. It's about learning how to take the least amount of damage, reciprocate it, and then heal yourself.
Yeah.
It's more like Bloodborne, I think, in that way. Like, not to relate it to, it's not a Dark Souls-like game, but Bloodborne is like, you don't have a shield.
It's very tactical and like very methodical.
Yeah,
like you actually have to like
getting
think
hit
about what
is
you're doing.
going to happen.
Yeah.
So you have to plan around getting hit.
Yeah.
In Dark Souls, you can go the entire game without getting hit, or just like you have shields, you have defensive options, and it works in the defensive sense, but you're not supposed to really.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of both in that kind of style. It's you're gonna get hit.
Yeah, and then
you just have to figure out how to not take the full hit.
Yeah, and I will say that personally, this is a game that, the combat for this game is definitely combat that I'm very much not used to.
Oh no,
and it's definitely something that that's probably going to be the biggest hurdle that I have to get over, is just
I love
understanding the combat and how it works, and
I love seeing people who are really good at it.
Yeah.
Because it makes me look for it's like how when I started getting into Kingdom Hearts speedrunning, and watching people who are just masters at this, and I'm like, I want to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's possible.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, that's something that, like, when I was playing Bloodborne, I didn't think I would enjoy Bloodborne nearly as much as I actually did.
It's a great game.
Like I'm desperately want to get through all the games I want to play, because I want to play Bloodborne again, and I want to beat it. It's
such a great game
because it's a really fun game. And I'm like, fuck, this is really fun. And
the lore, the world, the characters,
like killing something and like winning and like actually understanding like when they're doing like certain tells, and like when I have an opening to attack, I'm like, oh my god, it feels so satisfying.
I think Bloodborne is more satisfying across the board than Dark Souls because of the lack of defensive options.
Yeah,
it's like everything is in your hands.
There is
everything is like, if you get hit, it is only your fault.
Yeah, and I think that it's that pressure that it puts on you of like it does feel like you actually have to have skill to play the game, which I really really like in that regard of like you have to know what you're doing, know the extent of the weapon that you're using, and also know, like, you know, all these things about this boss that you're fighting in order to actually win. Because if you are not as knowledgeable about certain things for any sort of fight, you're screwed. And I do like that, and that's something that the remake I think does very well as well. With you have to know what you're doing, and like you have to know what these, and like I think that's, and again, like I think it's, again, I would say that it's a double-edged sword, where it's like it's cool that you have to know all these different things in order to be good at this combat, but it's also very overwhelming at certain times as well, especially learning just in general, learning all these things, like, you know, like learning Tifa stuff and learning Cloud stuff and like learning how Barret operates. Like I think I am a little worried about when we have more than one party member. Like being in a party of 4, I am a little like worried of like, how is this all gonna mesh together?
Yeah.
Like I'm a little worried that I'm gonna be like just constant like flying of like, all right, like Cloud's ATB's up, all right, we're gonna do this and this and this, and like Tifa's up, okay, we gotta charge this, and then Aerith's doing healing things, I think, I don't know, and like Barrett's gotta charge his shit, and I'm worried that I'm just gonna be all over the place, and I'm like, fuck me, dude. But I don't know, like I'm definitely looking forward to playing more of the remake. I am really excited for it, but I will say that I am frightened at the same time for various reasons.
I'm obviously I've very much been looking forward to this. I'm really optimistic because I had a conversation with one of my coworkers about and I think that it has come across here fairly well, is I am really open to changing anything. Because I would much rather see a completely different take on something than a redo. It's why I hate Call of Duty. Yeah. And why something like what's a game that Devil May Cry. This isn't the best example that I can pull out of thin air, but it's an example. Is like people were really upset when they made DMC Devil May Cry because it changed a lot of things, and it was like I played it And I had a pretty cursory knowledge of the Devil May Cry games. I played the fourth one and I beat it, and I had touched a couple of the other ones. And then DMC Devil May Cry came out, and everybody hated it. It was like, oh, this isn't Dante. This isn't the same story. And it's like, they tried something different. I would rather see something new than something that we've already got. Like, I think that this game could have turn-based combat and would be really fun and really satisfying for a lot of people. But we also live in an era where turn-based games are not very common at all.
Yeah,
and they're more they're more strategy, like XCOM and Fire Emblem, and those are very different games than like JRPGs are now. JRPGs have pretty much evolved because of, I think, Kingdom Hearts. Because a lot of JRPGs around the time that came out were still like Final Fantasy X and 12. They still had a turn-based system, even if they were starting to evolve kind of away from it. And then Kingdom Hearts comes out. Yeah, okay.
Small tangent. I honestly really do miss... I really miss the Final Fantasy 12 combat with the gambits. Like,
I never played it.
It's so... I think it's so cool. Like, I think Gambit system for Final Fantasy 12 was such an innovative combat system, because not only was it really cool to like set different parameters of like when to use cure and like when to use certain abilities, but it also is a great example of the like bare bone basics of coding, because all the Gambit system is just cause and effect of like or if and statements. And I think it's like, I really hope that eventually they have combat systems like that more, because I think that would have like that. It was such an innovative thing. It hurts my brain to think about, but I'm like, at least I always felt like I was learning something. I always felt like I was like I had to like learning something, or I was making something. I'm like, oh, this is so cool to like see this machine work. But that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Okay, continue.
And so I think that because of the departure with the storytelling, or at least the tangents that they have decided to take and the routes, that keeping the exact same gameplay would actually kind of be a detriment to trying something new. You know, because if you're going to have the same exact gameplay but a completely new story, I think that would piss people off more. But at least this gives them, like, there's a hard break between the original and this one. So if you don't like this one, you will always have the original.
Yeah.
But if they kept the combat exactly the same, but then they changed the story, people would be like, well, this is exactly what I wanted, but the story sucks. Right. Because like you were saying, a lot of people just want updated graphics or something.
Yeah, they just want the nostalgia.
Yeah, and so it's like having two separate things is really cool. And with the way that the story is playing out, the other one, or the original, is no different. This doesn't change the story of the original. This is a wholly separate story, and they tell you why, which is really cool.
Yeah. I will say that
they are related.
Yeah, I
will say that.
I think this game, for as good as it is, if I had to give the rating to this game, I think I would probably give it like 8.5 out of 10. I think, and what would really set up like that would make me give it a 10 out of 10 is, I think if they had done, instead of being like, when you said the difficulty, the difficulty, like, classic, easy, normal. I think if they put classic as just like a combat mode.
In what way? Like actually turn-based?
Yeah, like actually turn-based. And so it's like, I think if they allow, because classic is you're set on easy and that's it. Like you're just going to be on easy regardless of what you do.
And you don't do auto attacks.
No, all the attacks are automated. You only have to worry about the abilities and stuff like that.
Yeah, you don't do any auto attack, or you don't
do any
attack.
basic attacks.
Everything is auto attacks. Yeah,
everything's automated.
I was under the impression that classic mode was going to be more, because that's what a lot of people had interpreted it as.
Yeah.
Is like, oh yeah, this is like, if you like turn-based, then just play classic. And then it's like, it's not really
it's not
like
really
that. And also
really
it's easy.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why they have it locked at easy. I don't know why it's
I think if they had just had that as like a combat mode, so you can either do classic or you can call it dynamic, whatever, I don't care.
Yeah.
And then have the difficulty be separate. I think that honestly would make it 10 out of 10 for me. Just to have that option, because I think I probably would have liked this game more on classic, where I don't have to worry about the attacks, because again, I think this is just personally because it's just a lot that I'm not used to this combat in general. But I think it would have been nice to have that layer of like, okay, I just want to focus on just this strategy and stuff like that. I don't really want to worry about the auto attack, because I think that in itself is really could have just been a separate game, quote unquote, than doing it dynamically. Like, and I think in the long run that would have helped them, extend the lifespan of this game too. Because I mean, obviously it's a story-based game. It's going to end at some point. But I think having that extra replay of like, because you could have people do runs of like, okay, we're doing classic on normal difficulty, and then set all these extra constraints, or we're doing regular combat on normal with all these extra constraints. I think that lends itself to the more of a replayability value to it.
For sure.
And I feel like setting classic mode just on easy is just like, I also think it's a little insulting, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
I think it's also
like,
just like,
oh
a
hey,
tad bit
you
insulting.
like turn-based? You only get to play on easy mode.
You're not smart enough to do this.
Hard mode is, I mean, obviously classic is only on easy, so hard mode is only just the how they have it set.
Yeah.
Like their traditional controls. Yeah. And it's like, if you don't like the combat, then you're not gonna want to play the game anymore.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which, I mean, that is, gameplay is really important. And this is a weird legacy that they have to deal with.
Yeah.
Because people have evolved. Like, games have evolved. And it goes into that, like, turn-based is old now. It's not bad. I love turn-based games. But most people are accustomed to action games.
Yeah.
I was reading
definitely dated.
Yeah. I was reading a Star Wars Reddit article, and this guy, I'm honestly assuming that they were a little younger, because they were talking about Knights of the Old Republic, which is a fairly older game, came out in the early 2000s for the Xbox and the PC, and everyone loves the story because it was one of BioWare's early games, and it was like player choice really mattered, and you had diverging endings and storylines and characters that you could get if you were light or dark side. It was really cool. But the kid was like, hey, how do I enjoy playing this game? Because I hate the combat. It's like, how do I get the story? How do I play the story but have the combat not suck? And it's like, well, if you don't like the gameplay, don't play the game. And it sucks to have to say that, because it's like, if you don't like it, then don't play it. Obviously, this isn't for you. And one of his his points was like, I have been spoiled by action games because they are much faster. Mm-hmm. So I think that most people now would be like, yeah, if this was turn-based, new entrants, people who haven't played the original Final Fantasy VII, I think that they would be turned off if it was turn-based. Yeah. And this isn't just for fans of Final Fantasy VII. I know a lot of people who are like, oh, I'm so excited for that game. Yeah. But they never beat the original. They never played the original.
To think that, I feel like with the remake, because that it's so different from the original, it's awkward to say that I think it actually makes the original worse in regard, because I would honestly say, like, I enjoy playing the remake a lot more than the original, and I don't know, it's probably because I don't have nearly as much nostalgia for it, but I think it's unfortunate that, like, Square obviously has this awkward, like, legacy that they have to uphold, but it's, like, really awkward because it's like, you want to make this a different game and you want to modernize it, but you can't really do that unless you change a lot of stuff, which is what they did, and they did it very well.
Yeah, very well.
But it is unfortunate that it's like you have this weird irony of, like, we want to uphold this legacy, but in order to uphold this legacy, we have to tear down this legacy in order to uphold it. I'm like, oh, this is weird, because I think there's definitely going to be people who are like, who have played the remake, never played the original, play the original, fucking
they're gonna hate the original.
It's not that good.
Yeah.
And vice versa. And you have people like me who have played the original and the remake, and I'm like, the remake's a lot better. Like, I'll be real here. It's not even just because of graphics.
Expanded,
the story's better. It's expanded.
The writing is better.
The writing is better. Like, it's just so much better. And I'm like, and then I guess, like, take it with a grain of salt, because obviously the original came out in, what, 97?
97.
Yeah.
Yep.
It came out in 97. So it's like older
and it was
times.
groundbreaking at the time.
Yeah, groundbreaking at the time, and it's like older writing. It's going to be a little different.
I don't think that the graphics have any bearing on the quality of the game.
I think they have a
7.
bit. Of 7, no. Yeah.
Because you really do have to put it into the context of the time.
Yeah, yeah.
The gameplay is, I think, the gameplay and the story are the two biggest factors that you have to take into consideration with Final Fantasy VII, the original.
Yeah.
And also, those were more products of their time, but there are a lot of older things that have transcended, like, this is good no matter what period of time you live in.
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
and 7 definitely feels dated.
Yeah, definitely. I would say that 7 definitely feels dated. I'm playing, like, 8 and 9. I love playing those, actually. Like, those didn't feel, like, compared to, like, comparing 7 to, like, 8 and 9, definitely did not, like, I feel like 8 and 9 definitely hold up better than 7 does. 7, like, I would agree that it definitely feels super dated. I also don't like junctions. Junctions were stupid.
I think
dumb mechanic.
I think the menuing and the item customization in 8 was just so overly complicated.
It was super complicated. I would not argue on that fact. I cheesed both the raid.
Everyone did.
Raid bosses for them, because I could not for the life of me do them. It was just so fucking complicated. But the story for 8 and the story for 9 were definitely, like, these hold up really, really well still. And I'm like, this is still very, very good. And I thoroughly enjoy these. And, like, playing 7, I was like, it's okay. Like,
It's good.
Yeah,
I'm glad that you enjoyed it, because I know that you did like it.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
Yeah, I liked it. But, like, if you asked me would I recommend someone playing 7, I'd probably actually would say no.
I would definitely say yes. I think it's a very important game to play.
I think it's, well, I mean, yeah, I think it's
it gives you perspective of not just Final Fantasy. I think it really helps you appreciate games from that time period. I really do. I think it's really important.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. But at the same time, I would also just say play 8 and 9 instead. Like,
yeah.
Like, I would just say play those.
But that's
instead.
like the thing is, like, 8 looks and plays so much better.
That's true. Hold on. When did Final Fantasy 8 and 9 come out? Because if it's
8,
that,
I believe, was 2000 or 99.
So it's like, yeah, 99 was 8. So 2 years later than 2 years after 7 had come out.
And then Final Fantasy 9 was 2000.
Okay, yeah. So it was 2000. So a year later. Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
I don't know. I would still say play 8 and 9 instead of 7, because it's just like, if you want,
they're better games, but they don't show age. And I think if you were, it really depends on the context in which you're talking. Like, if you're like, hey, do you want to play a really good Final Fantasy? Play this. And then you would say 8 and 9. But if you want to be like, do you want to play a really good Final Fantasy that, like, and while you're trying to understand where it came from, play 7.
I guess.
I think.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of the best parts of the original 6 and bridging the gap to 3D. It looks terrible, but I have an endearing, like, I didn't play it when I was a kid, but I have developed a nostalgia for the game, which is really weird. I was actually thinking about this while it just popped in my head. Any other Final Fantasy game, 13 back, if they were to remake that game and remaster it like they are 7, I don't think anyone would have as many worries as they do for 7. If you were remaking 9, I don't think anybody would care. Not like that it's not important, but it's like, oh yeah, no, cool, just do whatever.
Yeah.
Or 8, or 6,
there's not
or
as much
3.
fan base for it.
Well, no, it's not that they're not bad. It's just people are so weird about 7.
I mean, yeah, I'm not saying like it's bad. I think I okay, yeah. So yeah, you saying that I would, that makes sense. I would agree that, because I mean, thinking about with 7, Aerith, spoiler alert, Aerith dying in 7 is such a crazy chaotic of like, holy shit, what the fuck has just happened?
That's not even the first time that's happened though.
Right.
It's not the first time that a character has died.
Right, yeah. It's not like
the game.
It's not original. But I will say that like I mean, it's hard to say because I haven't played all the Final Fantasies, but like for Final Fantasy, I feel like that is a very that is a very heavy moment of like,
oh yeah,
oh, I've lost the character that I have invested time in. I've lost.
It's important, and it was the point of the game,
and that's the point of the game. So I would say that, yeah, I would agree that 7 does hold in at least one aspect. Final Fantasy 7 does hold a very huge point, I guess.
I don't think that there is another Final Fantasy that has the emphasis on an emotional impact like that.
I can't think of any.
I think 10 tried, and I don't think they were able to do it nearly as well. I think 10 tried to do that, but
where?
with the whole Tidus being a ghost thing, and his people were like, "You are our last hope." Thing.
I guess they.
There was, and then like having that attachment to Yuna and the world that he wasn't really a part of.
Yeah,
I think that they tried to create much more of an emotional thing. 8, I don't think did very well.
8
I think they tried to do
I don't think 8 did any really.
9 was obviously more cartoony. It was more lighthearted. It definitely had its dark parts.
But it definitely had its dramatic moments. I think I want to say with 7, especially because, well, with 7 with Aerith dying in the original, it's also really early, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, Aerith dying was pretty early on in the game. I think that was actually, I want to say it was like Disc 1 or Disc 2. Like,
it was Disc 2.
Disc 2, okay, yeah. It was like, that's, yeah, oh yeah, because you leave Midgard, that's the end of Disc 1. I think, pretty sure. Something like
no, that. Midgard, leaving Midgard isn't, it's like halfway through Disc 1.
Oh, okay. Is it when you get the materia?
Huh?
Is that end of Disc 1?
When you get a materia?
When you get the black materia?
I think so.
Okay, yeah. I think so.
But 7, like, the emotional impact is so much more important. Like, yes, you have developed a relationship with Aerith. You have devoted time, effort, materia, all of that. I think one of the most important things, she was your healer. She was your one consistent healer, and halfway through the game,
and she's gone now.
Gone.
Yeah,
and you're like,
you need a new healer, buddy.
Uh-oh. I cannot rely on that limit break.
Yeah.
You lost your white mage. You have like you have your DPS, you have your tank, but you don't have a white mage anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would say that,
and that's not something that's really happened in Final Fantasy.
Yeah, and I would say that with 10 is interesting because, like,
everyone can change.
Yeah, everyone can change, and I think I think I would agree that they tried to do something similar with Tidus, but I think it was more for a narrative perspective.
Yeah,
because I think with 10, I think the reason I like 10 so much is because, one, obviously nostalgia and just plain favoritism, but 10 also felt like there was an actual narrative. Like it really was a very linear narrative, and
they knew that they were gonna tell a specific story.
You were, to quote the game, you are listening to a story. That is literally what you're doing.
This is my story. Yeah.
So
it was very much an early 2000s. Like this could have been a teen novel.
Yeah, but it was still good.
And it was Final Fantasy X.
But it was. I would argue that it was still good though. Like it was definitely something like you wanted to keep playing because you wanted to see what was going to happen next.
Yeah, very much.
And I think
even if it did get overly complicated.
Even if it did get very overly complicated, but that's Final Fantasy in general, so it's like whatever. That's just a prerequisite, and that's definitely what I would say that is an achievement that the remake has done in modernizing. I guess really like the remake has done a great job at modernizing 7.
Yeah.
And it's a little unfortunate that I think you'll play the remake, and even if you do, I think diehard nostalgists for 7 are probably not going to like the remake. At the bare minimum, they'll be like, it's okay.
Yeah.
But I think for people who are the average person who has played both of them, I would say, I think most people appreciate that it has modernized the remake. It's not the same. That's a little disappointing, but at the same time, it is better. Like, you have to break a few eggs to make an omelet, and I think with the remake, they have broken the right amount of eggs to make this very good omelet. I say that because even though, ironically, I hate eggs and I hate omelets. I would say that the remake does a really good job at, like, again, we are upholding the legacy that is Final Fantasy VII. That comes with a few sacrifices, and we're gonna try and make as few as possible. And the sacrifices that we do make are necessary because it just makes it even better.
Yeah.
And I think it's very smart in how they do stuff.
I think that this isn't indicative of the game yet, because it's actually extending the storyline quite significantly.
Yeah.
I think that the story is going to be more streamlined. I don't think it's going to be as, like, branching as it was. Like, you have the option to go to Junon now. I think it's going to be like, you're going to go to Junon.
You're going to Junon.
And you're going to do it here.
Definitely going to Junon.
And, like, yeah, I don't think that the open world is going to be much of a thing.
Yeah.
And I don't see that as a bad thing, like you were saying.
Again,
I think that guiding the players on a specific course, giving them side missions, because we have a different kind of side mission than the original did, is going to be how they do it.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is the story, and you're going to be walking this path.
Yeah.
And as opposed to, all right, the story's like, it was a good thing and a bad thing, because it's like you could do none of the story for 50 hours. And then eventually you'd be like, oh, hey, now I have to go back and I have to figure out what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah.
But now it's like, no, pretty much everything you're doing is moving the story forward the whole time. Yeah, and it's just like, whoop.
Yeah, I am a little worried about especially with the side missions and side quests and stuff like that, because I'm like, I know for a fact that I'm going to get to a point where I'm going to do side quests and I'm going to stop caring. Like, yeah. I'm going to stop caring. I'm just going to be like, I'm just here for the gear, the experience, whatever. That's all I'm here for. And I really do hope that they make the side missions interesting enough for me to actually care about the world. Because, I think that's what side missions should be. I mean, obviously some of them are just dumb and, whatever, they're a gag. Mm-hmm. But I think for the most part, especially for the remake, to build out this world, I really hope that these side missions still make me care. Like,
they've already made me care.
The kid that gives you materia.
Chadley is great.
Chadley, I'm like, dude, 1, Chadley gives me materia. That's already amazing. 2, Chadley's this smart little, like, fuckface, and I'm like, I love Chadley so much. I love the fact that it's like, you first meet Chadley, and Cloud's just like, yeah, you work for Shinra. That seems kind of sketch. And it's like, yeah, but I work for Shinra so we can fuck his shit up. And I'm like, I'm sold. I like it.
I'm working.
I'm there. So I'm hoping that, like, yeah, you meet, like, characters like that. Because, I mean, that's also something that I really liked about 15 was that, you know, you had all these different side missions. But the problem was, like, yeah, I cared a little bit, but all the people that give you side missions were just generic people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, why do I care? Why do I care about this?
I think that the side missions have made me care not about the side missions themselves. The content in them is like, okay, like, I'll go do this thing. But it's the reactions that you get after. Yeah. Because it's really cool, and it, like, throws you into the world more.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can do the go kill the were rats and the doom rats for the shopkeep owner, right?
Yeah.
Which is basic side quests, just kill stuff. But there's a reaction from everybody in town when you walk by them. It's like, are you the guy who took care of the doom rats?
Yeah.
And it's really cool. So
yeah, it's cool to have that world building aspect of, like, the things that you're doing really actually matter. They do have
you can have this really boring, lame quest like Final Fantasy 15, but then you're like, oh, hey, like, people appreciate that.
Yeah,
and it's not like they appreciate it once with one line of dialogue. It's like everybody notices. And it's like, oh, is that the mercenary that they were talking about? Like, when you first go into the slums, they're like, is that the guy that Biggs was talking about? Oh, the merchant? And then it's like, oh, no, that's the mercenary. And it's like, oh, that's the mercenary who did all this cool stuff. That's really great. And so, you actually evolve over time, even though you're doing these, to you, trivial things, which is really cool. I think, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's something that I'm very much looking forward to playing more with the side quests, with the remake and stuff like that. But I don't know, like, I think we should probably call it there. We're nearing on almost 2 hours. Like,
that's a good
2 hours. So I mean, like, I guess that's gonna be it. So guys, thank you so much for coming to the Final Fantasy VII Remake podcast.
We'll be talking about it more.
Hope you guys enjoyed.
We didn't even really talk about where we were in the story.
No, we didn't.
But at least we were able to talk about.
We both said that we were pretty early on. We're both pretty early on. So there's not a huge amount that we can talk about as far as, like, specifics in game.
I know that there's a lot of upcoming changes to stuff that you and I know about.
Yeah, I think it will be fun.
Wall Market is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really fun to have this episode of, like, our, you know, what we hope to happen, what we hope to see, our initial thoughts about it, and then have a later episode and talking about, you know, when we're farther in, how we feel about it then, and then how we feel about the at the end on a different episode. I think that's going to be really cool to kind of see.
I'm very much looking forward to going back and listening to this when it's all done.
Yeah, it's going to be, I am really curious as to how, like, our thoughts now, and if they hold up or if they change by the end of it all. I think that's going to be really, really interesting.
Yep.
But only time will tell when we get there. So
tune in next time.
Tune in next time.
Thanks everybody for stopping by.
Yep. Thank you guys again for watching and listening to the C+ Podcast. You can always follow Hex and I on our respective Twitch channels. You can also follow us on various social media and all that good stuff. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Ding.
Bye.
Bye.